Oh, God. Merry Christmas. Christmas is over. Woo! I don't know about you guys, but like after Christmas, I'm done. Like Boxing Day, great, sure, we'll go shopping. After that, no Christmas music, nothing, right? None of it. I'm done. Right, I'm ready for 2023, I'm not gonna lie. Hi. Welcome in to another video. We've got a few videos left before the end of the year. And then I'm gonna go on like a little week holiday off, just for myself. We're gonna do, this intro is all over the place. Hi, welcome into another video. We're sitting down to do a video that I didn't expect to be making, to be honest. So if you're not new to the channel and you've been here a while, you'll know that I do, well, used to do a lot of music content. That's kind of how this channel started to grow, the first part, I guess. I thought, rather than just completely stopping music stuff, I know some of you are still into it, so I did do a little live and see if you guys would be interested in this style of video, and that is basically where I talk through my year-end favourite albums from this year, and I'm going to tell you like 3 tracks that I really love from the albums, like my top 3, I guess. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time. I love doing these year-end videos. I've got a really fun one planned for TV shows, so watch out for that. That's going to be coming very soon. But for now, I thought I'd just film this really quick. How many albums have I wrote down? I've got 15 albums. Now, I haven't really spent like loads of time on perfecting the list, organising exactly where I think things fall. I've kind of just thrown this together and we're just gonna take it as is. This easily could change. Like, these aren't set in stone ranking wise, so don't think if something's at the bottom that I don't like it, it's on this list for a reason, do you know what I mean? So without any further ado, let's just get into this video because this intro has been all over the place. Check me out on Instagram, it'll be up on the screen there. Check me out on Spotify, Twitter, Patreon, and Discord, all linked down below. And yeah, let's get into this vid. Hopefully it's gonna be a pretty snappy one. First album I would like to speak about, I guess we could call it number 15 if we're doing that. And that is Dirt Femme by Tove. I learned how to say her name this year, okay? 1 minute, I need a bit of drink of coffee. You like my new cup? I love. So I want to talk to you about Dirt Femme by Tove. I love this album. I was obsessed with all the singles and stuff that she released prior to that album. And I even loved her Euphoria song that she did like right at the beginning of the year. Obsessed with that. Like, if that was on this album, best believe this would be one of my favorite tracks, but it's not. I love this album. I was very excited for it to come out. I do think have I purchased it? No, I think I need to purchase the vinyl, but I don't know if they're like actually distributed yet, so I'll figure that out. But yeah, I love literally every single album. I've not really listened to her very first one, but the rest of them, I'm obsessed. I've got 3 top tracks. I've got No One Dies From Love, which was the first proper single, I think, from this album. Attention Whore, guys. If that title alone doesn't get you, like, doesn't get that interest peaked, I don't know what's wrong with you. But the track is incredible, right? Attention Whore, it's got a feature, but I can't remember what the feature is. And then also Pineapple Slice. Now, I'll say this, Pineapple Slice is about the effect pineapple has on a certain substance that comes out of the body. In a very scientific way, there you go, okay? Great track, great album for the gym, I will say that. I'm really getting into the gym again. Past few months I've been really trying to make some moves, and it's a great album to listen to in the gym. Okay, moving on. In at number 14, we do have Superache by Mr. Conan Gray. I got so much shit and like constant comments up to like, even now I get the odd one, asking me to do a video on Superache, and I would have, but I think around the time when it came out, I had a lot going on, like a lot of videos needed to be brought out, all this stuff, so I just never got round to it. But I loved the album. Now, I don't know whether I prefer Kid Crow or I prefer this one. I don't really know. I almost think Kid Crow did better in terms of like a theme and encapsulating a certain vibe, but I feel like some of the tracks on, like there's a lot of the tracks on this one have more replay value. That's almost where I'm at with this album. Conan Gray never misses, in my opinion. I didn't see enough hype about it, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this easily should have done as well as, or if not better than, Kid Crow. This album still did well. By no means am I bashing the way this album's done. It's done really well, it's done fucking numbers. But yeah, my top 3 for this album are Movies, Family Line, and Summer Child. Now I feel like Summer Child is not getting the love that it deserves. You'll find this, guys, with some of these albums, like, I feel like I like the songs that not a lot of people, or like, not the majority of people are bumming. Summer Child is one of those songs. I did not see enough hype about Summer Child. Now, I don't know if it's because it's a very different kind of vibe, it's a bit more alt, which I really fuck with, right? It kind of gave a bit of Harry's House vibes, but I love Summer Child, it's so up my arse. Right, so I'd say that's almost my favourite. I love Family Line, the story, the lyricism, oh my god, and Movies is just a great opener to the album. So if I was to recommend 3, they would be the 3. Moving on, in at number 13 we have Holy Fuck by Demetria Lovato. Now, this one is extremely underrated in my opinion. I feel like it's not done what it should have. Like, this is easily one of Demi's best albums, for sure. Vocally, vibe-wise, all the features, the lyricism's still there, the production's great, the way it makes me feel. This is another great one for the gym. I literally listened to it this morning for the gym. So yeah, great album. It's being slept on for some reason, and that's quite irritating. I think it is probably because she's gone back into more of a rock, pop punk kind of vibe. Now I'm obsessed. I loved it when Miley did it. I'm loving that Demi's like reverting back to that. So maybe that's why, because it's not as mainstream pop, but still I think it's some of their best work for sure, for sure. Top 3 from this album are Eat Me. Oh my god. No one can listen to that song and tell me it's a bad song. Now it might not be your vibe, but it doesn't mean it's a bad song, okay? And it's got a feature, is it Royal the Serpent, I think? Or Royal and the Serpent? I'm not sure. They're incredible on the track. Oh my god, knocked it out the park. I've then got City of Angels, very different vibe. And I've also got Bones. Bones gets me a bit hot under the collar, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the hook on Bones, it makes me wanna grind, it makes me wanna move. And that's all I'll say. Okay, in at number 12, now this one, I could easily see being much higher, or definitely one of my favourite albums from this year, but I've only just, guys, and I mean literally like today, the past week, past 2 weeks, I've only just discovered it, and that is Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain. Now, oh my god, am I obsessed with this piece of work. Now, I won't lie to you guys, today was probably the first proper time I sat down, had a real good listen, like focused on like the lyrics, everything, and listened to the whole thing. And oh my god, is this a piece of work? Now, I've never listened to Ethel Cain before. I didn't know she was this good. Best believe I'm now a stan, okay? So I will say these 3 tracks are just like the ones that instantly jumped out at me like to be favourites. Now it easily could change. I want it on vinyl, but she's not released it on vinyl yet. I'm not sure if it will do, but I would like it. It would be like incredible on vinyl because the cover art, the whole vibe of the album, oh my god. It would really lend itself to vinyl, I feel like. But anyway, enough about vinyl. I'm really into vinyl these days, you can't tell. But yeah, it's called Preacher's Daughter. The top 3 I have for this album are American Teenager, which is the one that's, I think, done the best on the album from what I could see. Gibson Girl, oh my god, the lyricism on Gibson Girl. Guys, check out Gibson Girl, please. And also Western Nights. Western Nights is very, very chill, right? There is a lot more like intense tracks on the album for sure. Even just sonically, right? Her vocals are incredible, but like the production on this album as well is like unlike things I've ever heard, right? It's really, really fucking cool. And I imagine like with headphones on, wow, it's going to be a transporting experience. In at 11, we do have Renaissance by Beyoncé. Now, I feel like maybe some of you might have expected this to be higher, and I think when I listened to it, I maybe would have too, but I will say it's kind of turned into one of those albums where I have to be in a certain mood, because I'm not the kind of person in my day-to-day life to gravitate towards a boppy album every fucking day. Like, I'm much more like chill, I like relaxing, I love lyricism, I love production. I gravitate to that kind of vibe way more. Still a great album, pretty long. I feel like some of the tracks could have been took out, just my opinion. But for a comeback, I think it's done very well. I really enjoy it. Some of the tracks are like cream of the crop, but some of the tracks I do think are potential skips now that I've sat with the album a little bit longer, but it's still a really strong album. Top 3 I have for you are Cozy, wow, what a bop. Alien Superstar, another one, what a bop. I feel that one got like mixed reviews. And Plastic Off the Sofa. Now my girl Sabrina Claudio, she did have a hand in that track. So I'm not surprised that I absolutely love it because I adore her. But that track is easily my favourite. I think the vocal agility on that track alone is insane. So they're my top 3, quite a range of a 3 I feel like. I feel like a lot of people love Cuff It. Now I do like that track, but it's definitely not my favourite, but I know it's done numbers on TikTok, so shock. But yeah. Moving on, Harry's House. Are we on 10 now? I'm not sure. Whatever. Who cares about numbers? Harry's House is in at whatever number. I won't lie, I've not listened to this album that many times, but when I do choose to listen to it, I'm obsessed. Right, but once again, I find myself obsessed with more of the chill, vibey numbers than the bops. And I think that's just personal preference. Because I know a lot of people love like some of the earlier tracks, like the one about the sushi restaurant, Late Night Talking, As It Was a great lead single. Now this top 3 definitely do tell you my kind of vibe. And they are Little Freak, Keep Driving, and Satellite. Right, very chill. Keep Driving, the metaphor in that track, gorgeous. Okay, I absolutely love Keep Driving. So if that doesn't tell you where I am with music, then I don't know what will. And I also think Harry's House has been getting a bit of flack. For what reason? I don't know. People just like to hate on Harry Styles, I think. But anyway, next album on the list, I think at number 9, but I could be wrong. Now, this is an album that definitely needs more ears, right? I will say that. This is from Joe Keery. I'm pretty sure it's his band. I'm not sure if it's a band, I don't know. And that is Decide by D. Joe. I think that's their band name. Now, obviously, Joe Keery is an actor in Stranger Things. I got into Stranger Things this year, loved it, obsessed with Joe, okay? So I obviously decided to listen to his music and goddamn, was I very much impressed. I do plan on getting into Maya Hawke's music, because I did listen to some of Moss, but not the whole thing, so I couldn't have put it on this list. But from what I heard from that album too, gorgeous work. I love when an actor or someone whose profession isn't solely music, I love when they do music and do it serious, because there's nothing like when people say, for example, TikTokers, do music but do it very half-arsed and like it still does numbers. That kind of irritates me. But that's just me, right? I love that both Joe Keery and Maya have both pursued a music career. I'm not sure if they were doing music before the shows or whatever, I don't know. But I love that they've pursued a music career and they have something to say and they have a vision of like where they fit. Does that make sense? And I feel like Joe and his band, I'm assuming they're a band, have a very, very clear niche. Like it's very quirky, very abstract, very alternative, I feel like. Don't get me wrong, it's very boppy and poppy, but in a very quirky way. Love this album, guys, it's a great album. I want it on vinyl also. The top 3 I have for you are easily the best on this album for sure, especially 2 of them. Gloom, oh my God, needed to be longer. Fool, oh my God, needed to be longer. And I Want Your Video. Yeah, I Want Your Video is kind of different to the other 2. The other 2 I feel like are very similar, like could be brothers. I Want Your Video is slightly different. Next we have, in at number 8, I think. Now I'm just gonna stop you right there, I will let you finish, but I actually forgot an album that I probably would have put around this part, and that is Crash by Charli XCX. Easily her best album to date. Love the deluxe version. I forgot it because I was waiting to search the original artwork, but on the original artwork, it was like a video or something, so I had to like search and get that, so I forgot to put it on the list because of that reason. But yeah, she probably would have gone around this area. Love her. Great album. Check it out. Very boppy, good for the gym. We have The Hardest Part by Noah Cyrus. This album, extremely underrated. I'm gonna say it. Right, extremely underrated. Noah is an incredible artist. This is actually her debut album. She's had a few EPs, which I've been also adoring, but this is her first debut official album, and fuck me, did she not disappoint. She is a perfect example of my vibe completely. Like, she's kind of country, kind of alternative, kind of a good mesh of the two. The lyricism's great, the production's great and nice and chill, but she's still talking about some deep topics. That is my vibe. I want to sing, I want to be low-key sad, but also feeling kind of good at the same time. Okay? I also once again feel like people don't really want to check out Noah because she's Miley's sister, which kind of irritates me. Like, they do completely different things within the music industry. Noah Cyrus, people, get to fucking know the vocals. Top 3 I have for you on this album. Mr. Percocet, incredible lyrics. The music video is really cool too, I really enjoyed the music video. Mr. Percocet, I Just Want a Lover. Now that song's definitely a little bit, like gears a little bit more into the mainstream pop. Like, I could see that doing really well as a single, and I think she did. It was like the single that was released with the album, like it has a music video, and I'm pretty sure it's done really well, so I can see why. And then we also have Unfinished. Now, she said that she wrote this song when she was 16, people, and oh my god, it's a beautiful track. Really catchy, beautifully sang, incredible lyrics, sad. What's not to love? Quick sip. Quick sip. This is longer than I expected it to be honest. I'm trying to speed through these. Okay, in at number 7, we have Caprisongs by FKA Twigs. Now, this album came out at the very beginning of the year. I'm thinking first or second week of Jan, right? And I knew way back then that this was gonna be on this list, right? This is an incredible piece of work. Very different to what FKA, or just Twigs, has done in the past, from what I know. But wow, the bops on this album, the vibe of this album, because I think she classified it more as a mixtape, which from my knowledge is more like it has like little parts of talking, it has a lot of like interlude-ish vibes throughout the whole thing. The tracks don't necessarily need to match in vibe. I don't really know, I'm not really sure the difference between a mixtape and an album. I think it's just, then you don't have to say it's an album, it's just a mixtape. I don't know. Great mixtape, regardless, really brilliant. She released loads of little music videos for this. The vibe was impeccable. We've got Ride the Dragon. Now this is the opening track. And oh my god, right, is all I'll say. What an opening track. One of the strongest opening tracks I think I can even think of for an album. Such a good opener. Tears in the Club, I was obsessed with this track because she released this quite a while before the album. This is featuring The Weeknd. Wow, is this a track? And I mean guys, I was pumping this shit so much, like end of last year. Wow, I think it definitely made my, because I think it came out in like December or something of last year, and it was in my roundup of songs from last year. So if that gives you anything, I'm still obsessed with it now. And then last but not least, a very different vibe is Careless, and I think that's featuring Daniel Caesar. Is that the feature? I'm not sure. Wow, the vocals on this track, the lyricism, like guys with headphones in, the chorus, I can hear it right now. Right, it's an absolute killer. Okay, very different from the rest. Moving on, in at number 6, this is another album that I definitely think has been underrated and definitely deserved more this year. More ears, absolutely. And that is Surrender by Maggie Rogers. Now, I'm kind of new to Maggie Rogers. This album was the first full-length album that I listened to from her, since I have gotten into some of her previous stuff. And they're also really, really good. But this album, people, it was another one of those scenarios where I was obsessed with the singles that was coming out, because she brought out, I think, like 3 or 4 of the songs before the album even dropped. And I was pumped.
Would you like to get pumped?
pumped for this album release, and she did not disappoint. The vibe is so clear. It's just incredible work. I'm running out of things to say, right? But at the same time, like, we have this very alternative, grungy, industrial vibe, but then we also have a lot of chill shit and like ballady stuff like horses. Oh my God. But anyway, let's get to the top three because I'm chatting a lot. Top three, we have Horses, like I've just said. Shatter. Now, Shatter is one of those tracks that is very like hectic, heavy in terms of instrumental. But guys, it gets me jumping. It gets me riled up, okay? So Shatter is a great track. And also Honey. They're my top three. Moving on. Next we have, and I also kind of expected this to be higher, I won't lie, but here we are. Next we have Midnights by the one and only Taylor Swift. Now, you guys know Taylor's like my ride or die. She's like my favorite, one of my favorite artists. And I love me Midnights. So easily on a different day could have been number one, for sure, right? I will say there's a few tracks here and there that I think could have been taken off. And that's all I'll say on that. But it is a long album, so I mean, I guess that's to be expected. The only thing that threw me off about Midnights is I feel like the promo and like the album covers and stuff, the vibe didn't necessarily match the sound, which is kind of the first time I've experienced that with one of Taylor's albums. Like, I feel like she's usually really good at encapsulating a vibe with all the visuals. Now, I will say the music videos matched perfectly. I expected like 70s sad, a mix between like Folklore and Evermore and Lover. Now, I couldn't just pick three. I couldn't just pick three for this album. Shock, right? So I've picked five, which I think is okay because I mean, it is a very long album, right? I've got Anti-Hero, which is kind of irritating because I know everyone's loving that, but with good reason, right? Anti-Hero, Snow on the Beach, Karma, Glitch, we'll get on to Glitch, and Would've, Could've, Should've, right? Glitch is not getting the love it deserves, right? That song makes me feel like I have a tight and wet pussy, and I'm not afraid to use it, right? That song is so good, easily one of my top of the tops from the album, and I'm seeing people say that's like the worst song on the album. And I'm not sure if that just says a lot about my taste, but it's just, ooh, I don't know, it makes me feel good. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's the most complex track, but it's not a bad track. No way. So they're my top five from Midnights. Love it, but I will say there's other Taylor albums that I prefer. Folklore and Evermore, okay? But it's still a very strong album. Next, we've got, now this is another one that not many people will have heard, but I'm gonna talk about it, and that is Bronco by Orville Peck. Now guys, this is the thing, I do like my little niche ones. Bronco by Orville Peck, like, he deserves way more. Like, he's a gay cowboy with gorgeous vocals. He's masked, so there's like mystery there. And also, like, you can tell he's like sexy. And he's gay. I've already said that, but still. So yeah, Bronco by Orville Peck, oh my God. This album, now I went into it and just listened to it in my own time and did not expect me to be so obsessed with it. And I really am. This album is like so beautiful, relaxes me if I'm feeling stressed. Like, if I put this on, like, I just sing and I feel good. It's definitely more country. Like, him and like Casey Musgraves are like my country queens. Like, I'm so obsessed. Like, if they did a song together, which I don't think they have, but they should, that shit would be incredible, right? But yeah, Orville Peck, if you're out there and you're listening, if you want to marry me, I'm here. But yeah, top three I have for you for this album are Come On Baby Cry, The Curse of the Black and Dye, and Let Me Drown. Let Me Drown, the vocals alone on Let Me Drown, holy shit, right? There you are, they're my tracks for Bronco. Next, top three now, people, we're getting serious here. Now, this was all very hard for me to figure out who I wanted at the top, right? In at number three, we've got Emails I Can't Send by Sabrina Carpenter. Now, I know for a fact I'm probably gonna get hate for putting her so high, but I don't fucking care. I'm not ashamed to say that I loved this album. Was so excited by all the singles that she was giving us before. The whole vibe of the album, how we had like these emails, and like she said that she was going to send this email out announcing the album, and it didn't send because the album is called Emails I Can't Send. So much smart workings with this rollout and everything. The vibes of each of the singles were different but still cohesive. The music videos were incredible. Her most mature work yet, absolutely. I'm just obsessed. And she is so underrated. She deserves so much more. Like, she's got main girl potential, people, and you guys are missing out. This album had maturity, it had fun, it had deep lyrical content, it had sad, it had bops, it had literally everything. Like there's not one track on this album that is like any less than the other. So check it out for sure, and I mean it. Top 3 for this album was really hard, so I've picked 4. We've got Read Your Mind, bop, Bet You Wanna, sexy, right? Really sexy, almost country vibes. Nonsense, and oh my god, quick shout out to the Christmas version that they did for Nonsense, because chef's fucking kiss, right? Nonsense is incredible, and it's literal nonsense. Like, it is so fun, so banter. And I also put down Because I Like to Party, because I mean, the music video, what it's about the Olivia and Josh situation. It's crazy. It's very candid, that track, and I love it. So yeah, check out Emails I Can't Send, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Because I know I did a video for that on this channel, and a lot of you watched it not knowing about Sabrina, not knowing about the album, and so many of you were commenting like, I watched this because you did it, and now I'm obsessed with the album. So I honestly believe a lot of you will be if you give her a chance. Just saying. Top 2. Let's go. Place your bets. What's the top 2, hey? Well, in at number 2, we have Motomami by Rosalía. Now, I did not expect to be as obsessed with this album as I am, right? I got into Rosalía this year. I covered 2 of her albums, I think. There's one more that I haven't listened to. But yeah, I'm very much a fan of Rosalía, people. She's very fucking cool. And this is the first time I've really been interested and following a artist that isn't English. Wow, she's real fucking cool. Motomami, insane. The visuals, the cover art, the vibe of the album, insane. Top tracks I've got are La Fama, which is featuring The Weeknd. I've got Hentai, which is, it sounds sad, but it's kind of dirty. It's kind of a filthy track. And I've also got Dispatcher. Now, I'm not saying those words correct, okay, so don't come for me. I know that Dispatcher was released after the album, but oh my god, it got put on the deluxe, so it counts, right? Wow. The remix with Cardi B, fuck no. But the original, abso-fucking-lutely. That shit rocked my world. How that didn't make the original album is beyond me, unless she just didn't record it in time, I don't know. And last but not least, now this is definitely another one of those that like could have moved. A lot of this list could have just moved around, right? But purely for the amount of listenings I did to a lot of these tracks, I had to, right? And that is Dance Fever by Florence and the fucking Machine, right? I feel like Florence isn't in her peak at the minute, which is irritating to me, because this is definitely some of her best work. I just don't even know what to tell you guys. The lyrical content, the storytelling, the vocal ability, the different productions that are on this album. I watched her interview with Zane Lowe before this album came out, and that just got me even more excited, because hearing her speak about like all these tracks, like she's so eloquent and like she really knows what she's talking about, and like she, like you just know that like she lives and breathes music and singing, and it's such an art form to her, and I really appreciate that bollocks, right? I love it. It's such a good album. I love Florence. She's incredible. That's my favorite, I guess. No, it's not. These are all my faves. I'm not gonna pick, but that's my top for today. Top 3 tracks I've got for you are Dream Girl Evil, Saucy Saucy Sauce, right? I've got Daffodil, fucking vocals. okay? And I've also got Free, because that one, I mean, it's about anxiety, which I kind of relate to, but also it gets me pumped, it gets me moving, it's so fast paced, and I love it, okay? So yeah, guys, with all that said, they're like my favourite albums of this year. Like I said, and I've said plenty of times, in no particular order. I know a lot of you are gonna ask about probably SOS by SZA. I haven't even listened to it, guys. I listened to the first few tracks and it just doesn't seem like my kind of thing. I'm so happy a lot of you guys love it, but it's just not for me. And I also know a lot of you are probably gonna come for me for not putting Hold a Girl on here by Rina Sawayama, because I know that had a lot of stans coming for me. I haven't listened to that whole album either. From what I did listen, once again, not really my vibe, and I'm sorry, but this is my list. If you want to give me your list down below, I would love that. So make sure to do that. Even if you want to give me like your top 3, top 5, whatever. Tell me your favourites. And I'd be happy to have a gander and I'll chat to you down in the comments. But for now, this video is probably longer than I expected, but it is what it is. Have a great year. Have a great end of the year. And I'll love you and I'll leave you. Goodbye, people. See you soon with another one.